Hello, good afternoon.
Happy New Year. It's again venturing into January, and this is when a lot of birthdays start to happen, in fact.
Yes.
I want to try to go through some of them right now.
Okay.
In fact, we have a special one going out to Norma Cummings. I hope she's listening. Senator Norma Cummings out in Saskatchewan. Mm-hmm. She turned 85 on January 1st.
Ooh.
So we got a letter coming from me to her on behalf of our government, and there's one we are working on right now from the Prime Minister to her. And, of course, a lot of people know Senator Norma Cummings. She's always been an advocate and a fighter for Métis rights and definitely protection of the Métis Nation. So she's a very big fan. We're big fans of hers, and it's like people like her, and so many back in around our homeland has been always advocates and fighters, whether it's Senator Head or go back to all the different presidents and different leaders and elders that stayed even after they served, continue to fight for the Métis cause. And so, Senator, directly from myself, my family, my wife, and all of us, Métis women, from Anita Campbell, and all of us, a special 85th birthday for you, and especially on January 1st. Yeah. It's going to be a good year. There's not a doubt in my mind. Every year we seem to be progressing forward, and we'll continue. And now that we're separated from the Métis National Council, with Senator Norma Cummings supported strongly because she sees what's happening, how the MNC has become a pan-Aboriginal institution, letting anybody in who claims to be Métis with a little bit, they say, First Nation blood, which is not, we're not a blood quantum people. We're not based on blood quantum. So it's unfortunate that, they've changed the direction. Since 1983, it's been protected by us. And but at the end of the day, President Chartrand and President from Saskatchewan, Glenn McCallum, and then also the new president out in British Columbia all supported this expansion of new territory to let people in based on blood quantum, or just they call it historic community or family tree or different names. They give it all kind of fancy names to try to sneak it in there, and there'll be tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people in the future stealing our identity. So, Senator Cummings, I know you're very proud of what we're doing as the Federation. Let me tell you, we'll continue this battle, and people like you just inspire me to even fight harder. Yeah. So let's say other happy birthdays now. Happy 34th birthday going to, and I might butcher this name here, Kira Pasaladua. I think I'm saying it right, Pasaladua. I hope I said it right, but Kira is celebrating her birthday on Monday, January 9th. Happy birthday to Clint Dudium, Reverend Métis musician, and one of the I think legends in the future. Yeah. And of course, Clint's been going through some health issues and struggling and trying to make come back himself. I think he picked up his guitar and his fiddle not long ago again. Yes. But again, my great appreciation for the Dudium family, the artistic family, and I'm so proud of that family. So. And cousins of Ray at the same time. So his birthday is on January 10th. Happy birthday, Clint, from myself, of course, to your government. Happy birthday to Dina Delaron, a long time name I've heard. She used to work with us so many moons ago. She moved to Northwest Territories, worked out there, and I heard that she might be back. We're still over there, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. But she's celebrating her 67th birthday on Wednesday, January 11th. Happy birthday, Dina. And happy birthday is going out to Jocelyn, I guess, Conway, Al Desjardins' daughter. I'll use the word Jocelyn, there's an E at the end. Runs Elsie Bear's Kitchen and celebrating her 38th birthday on Thursday, January 12th. Happy birthday, Jocelyn. Mm-hmm. And happy 53rd birthday is going on to Minister Daryl Furlan, a fisherman still, a commercial fisherman, logger, and sits on cabinet. And he's the Minister of Traditional Economies. And, of course, I was in the Paul region, birthday on Friday, January 13th. Today's also a special day for the Orthodox Christmas for the Ukrainian families. As we all know, and many of us are intermarried now with Ukrainian families, but we have a lot of friends that come from the Ukrainian nation. And right now they're going through a very difficult time, not only here, even though the war is quite a distance away, it's all the relatives and family members and still struggling under the Putin attempt to, take over their land, their people, their community, just everything about them. And, of course, Putin is trying to destroy all that and saying he owns it all. So he's a madman. But they're going through a lot, and they're still being bombed regularly, every day nearly. Yeah. But they don't give up, and you've got to give the Ukrainian community and their families, such great praise and support that they won't give up on who they are, their identity, their homeland, the protection of their families. Same thing we have done here back in Canada as Indigenous people. So I'm very, very proud that Ukrainian families are taking the lead in the world, showing that they will stand up and fight until the last person standing to protect their home and their culture and their land. So again, thank you to the Ukrainian families, and a special prayers go out to each and every one of you, and our prayers go out to all your family members out in Ukraine. As you know, the Federation has been a big supporter of what's happening to the Ukrainian community, and we've donated, I think, over $100,000 to Ukraine. And we believe, again, our money will help in some way, help out there. And we also still work in partnership here with the Ukrainian. We actually added in our music, you recall, in our Christmas show. Yep. We had the Ukrainian entourage there, and it was great to see the students in the Ukrainian school singing and performing, and it was just part of a sharing of Christmas, and that's what Christmas is all about. So, again, prayers go to all those that are out there and those that are still being killed, innocent people being killed by a madman. And I hope one day that his day will come quickly to end this nightmare they're facing. Also, I got a quick update on the AP10 covered a story in the treatment of our cards, the Métis citizenship cards.
Oh, yeah, I've
seen that. In many businesses that actually recognize them. But one of them is the Manitoba Liquor License Lottery. They don't recognize them. I myself went in there and used my card just to test it. They wouldn't recognize it. And they said, we don't recognize that. We only recognize First Nation cards. And so I sent a letter out and a message out to the Premier, indicating very strongly, very clearly, this is prejudicial action of the government. They own this company under a Crown Corporation, and they should fix this immediately. So I'll be working with them. They said they only recognize government cards. Well, we signed the self-government agreement July 6th with Canada, and that we are truly the Métis government only in Western Canada right now. And there's not a doubt about it that Canada recognizes us as a government. And the Premier herself said openly, publicly, that she recognized the Métis Nation as the government of the Métis people. So somehow her policies are not catching up, and they're falling behind, and she needs to make some changes, and the minister needs to make some changes. I do see a whole whack of people stepping down from leadership. I guess they're not running again. There's many, many names that are being thrown about that have either aging out or just decided they're not going to run, and the numbers keep on rising. I think it's about 12 now, 11 or 12. So it's quite an interesting dilemma happening for the Premier, but it also gives her, I guess, an opportunity to bring new blood and new names and maybe a new vision. But we'll see. But right now, the vision needs some fixing up, I tell you, as a Métis citizenship card should not be discriminated against by our government, and she needs to fix that very quickly. Also with our harvesting, as we know that we've been treated with discrimination against us in hunting. And for those people listening out there, I'm very part of you. Continue to hunt at your card. Do not be afraid. Your government will back you up every cent of the way, and we'll make sure that we have all the lawyers we need, because we'll win these cases. And that's why, just for our listeners out there, is that they do not take this matter to court. They charge them, and they let it sit just to try to harass our people. And that's what they do. It's a tactical move by the government, by the department, and by the bureaucrats in the department. So we are challenging them now on the ability for them to make policies which are contradicting the Constitution of Canada and contradicting to the law. So we are challenging them on that issue. Not just on them charging, we're actually challenging the policy now. So we're taking that to court. And so, again, it just shows that they're behind times, and they either shake up their heads, wake up, smell the coffee, and get partnered with the law of the land and the Constitution, this country that guides all of us. So they, too, got to abide with it. They're not immune from the law. Yeah. And so from my perspective, it just, again, shows they believe they can harass us to a point where they'll scare us, and our people are showing, no, you're not scaring us at all. So our people are still harvesting with their cards, and January 15th is where our season ends for a big game. There'll be no more hunting after that. And again, for those who ask the question why, because we believe that we need, and our elders have guided us strongly in this, we need to preserve for the next generations to come. So we need to help also a big game so they can calve properly and have a new stem of new animals rocking around ready for us to harvest in years to come, and for the next generation to have the same privileges as we have today, even though we are taking on these people that want to try and make us look like criminals, and we're showing them they're completely wrong and they're breaking the law. So we stand strong today for the next generation to show them that one day they'll be treated with the respect they deserve and respect they should receive as Manitobans, as Canadians, and definitely as law-abiding citizens. So from that perspective, I'll keep on pushing this Premier and hopefully get a reply soon on the Manitoba liquor license, because I just want to test it out. I want to see Somebody asked me to pick a bottle they went to give away at Christmas, and so I stopped by to pick up a bottle there. Excuse me. They asked me for ID, and I showed them my Métis card, and they said, I had a gentleman there, an older gentleman, said, no, we don't accept those cards. We accept only First Nation cards. So, again, it just shows you our government introduced cards, which we are a government. So, again, I will fix this and fight with the government, and if they don't do it, the next government will recognize it. So again, it's also a 14-year anniversary, speaking of harvesting, and the good-on case, and that, of course, case we won in Brandon courts.
Wow,
and
that's a long time already.
It's a long time, 14 years, and Will Good-on his duck. So I seen a pair of socks yesterday. Just for people who know, I'm away from Manitoba right now, and I seen a pair of socks about finding my duck. So I should have bought them for Will because it's all about a duck he killed, and he got charged, and we won the case. And at the time, the government did not appeal it. They felt that there was no use of appealing because we'd win there too. And it's proved without a doubt our hunting rights are are there and protected within the law and the Constitution of Canada. So it's people inside there that are pushing, trying to make a division between non-Indigenous and Indigenous. And I say that publicly, openly, because I could see it. I know there's those inside there that are pushing to try to buy out commercial fishing license, and they'll shut down the commercial fishing industry, which is absolutely cannot be done. We can't allow it. Yeah. Many people understand what I'm saying here, especially these commercial fisheries who've passed it on from generation to generation. It's part of who we are. It's part of our culture, part of who we've become. It's one of our traditional economies, and one of the last, really. If we lose this one, we can lose all of them. We're trying to revive the fur industry right now. In the forest industry, we've been wiped out by big conglomerates who come with all the big money and big machines, wiped out the small guy. There's only a few of them left now of our Métis entrepreneurs in the bushes. So when you start looking, fishing is still one of the most and only economic viable in the villages. Right. And if they shut that down for sport fishing, I guarantee you that, again, sport fishing is a big priority for the government. We know that. And they're willing to do anything they can to help there. Because they said, those people come out and vote, and we'll have to listen to them, or else they're going to, hurt us come election time. Well, we have to come out and vote, too, and it will hurt you come election time if you keep on harassing our fishermen. So again, from our perspective, don't sell your license, whatever you do. Keep your license, pass it on to the next generation. And fishing will become a commodity one day with earning more than $60 million, hopefully in hundreds of millions in the future. So we got to hang on tight. And one of the things that upsets me the most is this is their action plan. And for people to see this is the stupidity of the plan. And this is, bureaucrats, I hope you hear me, because you're short-sighted. You have one agenda, help a different industry, sport fishing in particular, against commercial fishery, instead of working collaboratively with both sides to find a solution to help each other. Because what they're doing is they think if we shut down commercial fisheries, then the fish stock will be safe. They're doing the same thing with moose. Moose are not extinct. They're not going to be extinct in the next little while, but they're using that as an excuse. Oh, there's not enough moose stock, so we're going to control the licenses, which is absolutely, there's over 3,000 moose in the mountains, and there's no way it's going to be extinct this year, next year, or 10 years from now. So from our perspective, we know conservation, Indigenous people practice it, Métis practices strongly in our laws, but using this as a tactical move to help the species of fish, they're saying, then why don't you do properly, invest in the natural resources, put the fishing farms all over the place, or fishing plans where you restock the lakes. We've built our own before in the past, and they were very successful. People see them everywhere. The growth of fish was rapidly changing. We broke beaver dams way deep into the forest where all the fish that are spawning can get out because they were locked in by continuous dams being built by beaver because trapping is down, and so the beaver population skyrocketed. And they were deoxygizing the lake. There was no oxygen in the lake. And so fish were just dying right there, little fingerlings, they call them. They're small. You can see them floating everywhere. And because there's no oxygen for breed because the water wasn't moving. And so we were clean that. Government didn't put a penny into this. So if you look at their budgets, even from the Doer era, from NDP Doer, when you look at I sat on one of the committees, and the budget for natural resources kept on being chopped. So there's no money in there at all. And they talk about a little investment of 800,000 we can get a day, but really it's a smoke and mirrors. There is no investment, no plan, and the bureaucrats that are running this department are killing this industry and doing so much damage to it. And the minister that's letting it happen should be ashamed of themselves. let's see we start doing this to farmers or other industries, you'll see how quick they'll react because they'll be worried about the votes. But here they're thinking, well, it's mostly Indigenous people, about 90% of them that fish now. Mm-hmm. It's all Indigenous people, so it's time we do what's right and for the Indigenous people instead of trying to say, well, it's only them, who cares, But if it's the non-Indigenous people, of course we're going to go out and do our part and invest in what the government's philosophy is, So it's so wrong, So you look at all these things that we're pulling, the eco-friendly environment packages, like we went and broke the dams by hand. My guys, Métis guys, were walking in chest-high water in the swamps, cleaning it all out, while the provincial government, the way they destroy a dam, they put a dynamite on a dam and blew it up, and they see the water trickle through, they say, okay, we've done our job, drive away. That next day already, or the day after, the beavers close it again. These guys work 24 hours a day, so those beavers, they never stop. So when you look at it from that perspective, we have the right solutions, but they'd rather try to use their smoke and mirrors and fool the people. And at the end of the day, they're trying to kill an industry, and we got to do everything in our power to protect an industry. So government's listening. You're a massive failure right now. You're F+, F++++, because it just shows you your lack of ingenuity, your lack of commitment to the industry, and you're doing it because it's only Indigenous people right now that are the majority of fishers out in the lake. So it's truly a racial, in my view, biased approach. Instead of helping the economy that gives so much jobs to our people, and sometimes the only jobs in the villages, you're trying to find a way to shut it down, buy out the license, close them out, and you're not replacing any industrial jobs, any other type of jobs for them. You're just treading them down, go on unemployment, go on welfare so we can hone you and control you. That's kind of ideology I think they have. You'll see the statements are strong for me right now, Naomi, because it's truly I could see so clearly what the government's trying to do right now, and our people can't get bought into that and saying, okay, I'll take the $7,000 or $10,000 right now, and because they'll never issue a license to your son, your grandson, your granddaughter, never. No. Once you get that, once they got it from you, they're going to keep it, and they're going to try to put tougher rules. They're already putting quotas in winter fishing, which you never had before. So this is a great, strong pressure coming from other fishing styles, like I talk about sport fishing. Those are the ones that are also lobbying hard to the government to shut down commercial fishing industries. So we need to figure out how do we support and fight for keeping this industry alive. And I know we have the solutions, and we have to fight in government court. I think that's one of the things we'll have to look at. It's fortunate we have to use court all the time. Yeah. And, it's really sad. You can't sit down where common sense prevails and where the government would really say, well, this is wrong. We can't take away an industry of employment from a people and leave them unemployed when we're telling them they should get jobs. Well, if you want to get jobs, the only place you're going to get a job in some villages is fishing. So, anyways, I'll keep on pushing
mandate, though, right? It always has been, right?
And I know that many First Nations feel the same way I do, and they're telling their people not to sell their license. So it's going to be a fight for years to come. I take it for days until the philosophy changes where they believe in the future of our province and the future of creating jobs. So also good news on the two individuals that shot and killed two Métis harvesters in Alberta. Yeah. One got Anthony Bilodeau sentenced to life with no parole for 13 years. So, they tried to lie their way through it, try the deception of that they were trying to protect themselves against two innocent Métis harvesters, and they killed them. And so Maurice Cardinal got his revenge, even though he's passed on. And so killing both Jacob Sansom, they got revenge. They got some justice at the end of the day. So very proud of the decision of the courts there, and I'm looking forward to what results in that. So anyways, as I said, I'm away right now, still in holidays, and of course you could hear a little bit of a chest cold I have here a little bit. Of course, when you take holidays, you get sick right away.
Yeah, because you let your guard down.
Well, I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just sorry. I'm just reading my text. I'm getting so much texts here. I'm just thinking if anybody wants to say something, which is not, it's just personal stuff. I thought in case somebody's saying I forgot to mention somebody on their birthday or wedding anniversary or something like that. But anyways, I will...
Reg's funeral today?
Oh, yes. Yes. For people that may have forgotten or know, a lot of people know him personally, and you're talking about Reg, right?
Yeah, Reg Thomas. Yeah.
So when you look at it, that's a good man, and always smiling face and laughing.
Yeah.
And I still remember the fish fries. I won't forget those fish fries for the rest of my life. So
me neither.
And,
I was able to go to the prayers on Thursday.
Oh, good for you.
Because I couldn't be there today, but yeah. So
yes, some of my cabinet members went, so I'm very proud of that. So I spoke to their family and give my condolences on behalf of me and Gloria. Of course, we do them personally, but at the same time, is well known in the Southeast region, well known also always at our assemblies, and it's just sad that they're taught there was a comeback for a while there, and as we know, these illnesses sometimes they don't let go, they don't want to let go, and sometimes God has a different agenda, and you can't beat it. So no matter what you do.
That's right.
So again, my condolences go to the family, and I know Helen and them are hurting right now, but they also understand that when God makes a decision, you can't stop it. So. Yeah. So condolences to the family there, and to all those listening, to our elders, thank you again for your guidance. It's going to be January 2023. When you talk about this, when I was back in before the 2000s, you never thought. Remember in 2000 when it first came in, everybody was panicking because they thought some were thinking the world was coming to an end.
Y2K.
And, yeah. You remember that? What did they call it again?
They called it Y2K, and they thought everything was going to, all the electronics were going to just,
shut down, and it was just panic city and all over, and we overcome that as people of the world. But the population's at 8 billion now, so that's something a little scary. Will the world have enough land to feed all the people? So that's something we've got to watch for, and that's why the green package you hear coming from Canada, hear it coming from us, is going to be fundamental. We need to really do our part to help the environment. We're planting our 2 million trees. That construction should start this spring. You'll see a big greenhouse in Breezy Point, and there'll be jobs created from there. Then our goal is to build a second greenhouse with another 2 million trees, and our goal is to continue doing our part. It's going to take, as you know, Canada's planning to plant billions of trees in the next 10, 20 years. So we want to do our part. It'll take so many cars right off, meaning the exhaust off the air, and by planting trees. And so many families, if you want trees, we will be giving you all trees to your families. You will plant them in your yards, and at the same time parks and municipalities and forest companies will probably look to buy some off us. We can definitely help out there. And our goal is to make sure that we have a company that stays around no matter which government exists, that we can fundamentally protect and carry ourselves financially, and we continue planting the trees. And we also are going to grow in greenhouse. I think it's going to grow 100,000 pounds of food, and those are 7 greenhouses to be built right across the southern region. So that'll help, again, giving out fresh vegetables and that to our elders and our families, and that growth will take place. We want to push the garden program a lot harder this coming year. Yeah. And I look forward to that, and meaning that we actually, a lot of people don't want these gardens no more, where it's just work intense. It's unbelievable. Like all of us at my age should go up, and we sometimes reflect back and what kept us alive, and really it was the gardens. Yeah. Because we were poor, and without gardens we'd have been starving. So, but today you go to yards, the young generation, and they want potatoes, they go to the store. They don't want to go to the garden. So they go to the store and buy it, but it's so expensive now. Yeah. So fresh vegetables can definitely make a difference in your health. So we want to push that. But since they're not going to make big gardens in the backyards anymore, we're actually going to use box gardens. And Gloria has planted in our backyard. We had fresh tomatoes, we had peppers, and just jalapenos, and different things she was growing in the back, and they grow and grow and grow. So Don Roulette did the same thing in Cowan. He was so proud of his fresh potatoes he was giving away. And so we're still going to do a lot more of that. And I know the programs we have our gardening program out there, like Rita runs one in Duck Bay, and Campbellville, I think Babs them run one there, and there's a few other places that they run these gardens, and they're really, really producing some great results. So again, I want to say that we don't give up on something we start, but the future of green is going to be part of our everyday life for the young generation. We need to do our part. So again, to the elders, I thank you for your guidance. To the youth, keep us strong, keep us moving forward, get your education. The resources are there. A lot of people are so proud of the ability of the Federation now to give $5,000 to every university student to make sure we help them out, and plus we give more than that. We supplement different things. So right now, the supplement program is working well. Naomi, we're getting $100 out to elders and 125 to 150 for families with children.
Yeah.
And we have 75 a month to students to help higher costs of food as it moves right now. And we're giving out hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars right now, and I'm very proud of the program our government has introduced and putting into place. And we put $5 million aside in our budget for that. And again, I'm proud of Anita and Francis, and they're managing the program right now. But I'm proud to all of our citizens to have such gratitude towards the government, saying thank you. It means so much to us that you didn't forget us, and you're there to protect us and care for us. So again, take care, everybody, and I'll talk to you guys next Saturday. And look forward to continuing a prosperous year this year. I see a lot of things on the agenda on the horizon that I'm going to be working hard on achieving. One of them is going to be the land claim. I'm going to be pushing that very, very vigorously. Mm-hmm. I want to get that resolved. And the Prime Minister promised we settle this term of election. So elections are not until 2024. So I anticipate to hopefully get that settled. And also got some good news for trappers. We're going to have the remaining resources that we had left in the settlements we had. There was some of course, trappers we never found.
Yeah.
And there's $3 million going to be set aside for a new program. We're working with Hydro on that. I think the new President Germain for that. She had in fact, Shepherd prior to that was supportive of it. And so this president now, given that she's no longer being stopped to work with the Métis government, because the one time, as you all know, in the battle we had with Pallister, no government or officials or departments were allowed to speak to the MMF.
Right.
So now we have a president that can do her job, and we have very good discussions on the way right now. And one of them is the trapping. We're working on putting that money into an account somewhere and creating the program of how they can access it, the young generation of trappers and so forth. But again, I'll keep you posted on that. I haven't got the final details, but I'm very proud. I received a letter from the president already saying she supports the $3 million to stay with the Métis government and to assist the Métis trappers into the future. So again, I look forward to that, and our fur company will continue to grow and do our part, and our artisans will continue to make the most beautiful supply of goods out there that we can not only buy, but sell not only to ourselves, but over the world. So you guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys next Saturday.
Okay, Happy New Year, President.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.